Lactantius De Mortibus Persecutorum, Episode 19. Rescissis igitur actis tierdrani non moduin statum pristinum ecclesia restituta est, sed etiam multo clardius ac floridius inituit, secutisque temporibus quibus multi, ac boni principes Romani imperii clavum regimenque tenuerunt, nullos inimicordrum impetus passa manus suas, in orientem occidentemque pordrexit, utiam nullus esset terdrardrum angulus tam remotus quonon religio Dei penetrasset, nulla denique Dei natio tam ferdris moribus vivens ut non suscepto Dei cultu ad justitiae opera mitesceret.
I acknowledge this is a very long portion for an episode, but in my defense, the viewer will note that it is one sentence, and there is no easy place to break it. So we'll see what we can do. Therefore, rescissis actis, this is an ablative absolute. The acta are the deeds or the decisions, tyrdrani, of the tyrant, meaning Domitian. Tyranny is masculine, singular, and genitive. Therefore, when the deeds of the tyrant had been revoked, rescissis, not only non modo sed etiam, not only to its former state in statum pristinum was the church restored, ecclesia, feminine, singular, and nominative, the subject of this perfect passive restituta, but she also far more brilliantly, multo clarius, and prosperously shone forth. Clarius and floridius are comparative adverbs, and multo is what's called an ablative of degree of difference by the grammar books, Allen and Greeno, for example. So we know that she shone forth, inituit, and we know that it was clarius and floridius, more brilliantly, more prosperously. We want to know how much. Multo tells us by a good deal. And inituit is the perfect of the verb enitesco, third conjugation, which means to shine. And in the following years, secutis temporibus, the following ages, in which, so this is an ablative of time, it's neuter, plural, and ablative, this phrase, in which many and good, morally proper emperors, or the Romani imperium is a genitive, neuter, singular genitive, dependent on clavum and regimen. Many and good emperors held, tenuerunt, the key of power of the Roman Empire and her administration, or her government. During that time, nullos inimicordrum impetus. Passa here is our new subject. It is feminine, singular, and nominative. It's a participle from the verb patior, a third conjugation deponent, patior pati, and it means to suffer. This particular one is nominative with reference to the church. So during those times, she, having suffered no assaults, nullos impetus, of her enemies, so it's relative time of peace, and impetus is masculine, plural, and accusative. It's a fourth declension noun. She, having suffered no assaults of her enemies, her own hands, manus suas, to the east and to the west, she stretched out, por rexit. Manus is also a fourth declension, accusative plural, but it's feminine, and manus suas is the object of por rexit, from the third conjugation verb porrigo, which means to stretch. The east, orientem, is the place of the sun's rising, orior. The west, occidentem, is the place of the sun's setting, occido. To such an extent, or with the result, ut, that now, nullus esset terdrardrum angulus, there was no corner, nullus angulus, of the world so far removed, tam remotus, with nullus modifying angulus, and terrarum a genitive plural, dependent on angulus, and esset are imperfect subjunctive in this result clause, no corner of the world so distant where the religio Dei, the worship of God, non penetrasset, had not penetrated or had not reached. Penetrasset is a pluperfect subjunctive active, the first conjugation verb penetro penetrare. And at last, there was no nation so living in its, or bent upon, its wicked or wild habits or customs or practices that did not, ut non, another result clause, become mild or gentle, metesceret, or perhaps submissive to the works of righteousness, ad justitiae opera, opera in the accusative with the preposition ad, justitiae the feminine and genitive, showing objective genitive, to the works of righteousness, once the worship of God, the cultu Dei, had been accepted. And this, suscepto Dei, is an ablative absolute. This is a picture of a bust of Trajan, who was Domitian's successor and ruled from 98 to 117 AD.